Hey guys, how you doing? Preston here. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my productivity hacks using Google Chrome. Now, a lot of you guys are at home now, so you find yourself working online a lot more often using browsers. Chrome, which is probably my favorite browser. Second, a close second is Mozilla, but definitely I love using Chrome for a simple reason because you can add what are called Chrome extensions to your browser to make it work a lot better for you, a lot more efficiently. Now, in today, I am a fanatic of Chrome. Now, what these Chrome extensions are, all these little tabs you see that are open here. Now, you're probably thinking I'm pretty crazy with having all these on, but I did actually turn on a bunch of them today for this video. And in this video today, I'm going to show you guys my favorite all-time Chrome extension productivity tools. Now, since I use so many of these, I realized that I'm not going to be able to explain all of these in one video, actually not without making it too long. So what I decided to do was I decided to break it up into actual 5 videos that I'll be delivering. And if you want to get notified on all of these, what I'd ask you to do is subscribe to my channel and you will see as I follow along with those videos over the next couple of days. All right, so let's start off first off with today with my productivity hack on general Chrome extensions that you can use to speed up your overall performance online. Okay, so the first one I want to talk to you guys about Loom. Now, you guys have probably seen me generate these awesome little videos online where I've got my video in the top here in a nice little circle, and you see me sharing my screen, and I can kind of talk over the shoulder exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you might think it's a really tough, complex tool to do that. It's actually not very hard at all. All you got to do is you just got to come over to download Loom onto your computer, and then it becomes one of these little pop-up icons here. And what I'm going to do is you just simply click on it, and it will start recording your screen for you. Right now, it's going to be hard for me to do it right here because it might mess up this current video, but I'll probably do a second video just talking about Loom so you can understand exactly how to use it and how I use it on an ongoing basis. But step number one, you want to get Loom. Once you have Loom installed, you can see it's recording all of your videos for you. I have done over 719 videos that I've used on Loom, and they just keep giving me space. I absolutely love it. There is a free version of Loom as well as a paid version of Loom. The major advantage you get of the paid version of Loom is that you get to record in 1080p, so high def, as opposed to the other one. When you have a free plan, you don't get to record in high def. And there are a couple other things where you can record certain parts of the screen, but for the most part, I think you'll be fine with the free plan of Loom. The next one is LastPass. All right, I absolutely recommend this one. And actually, LastPass has a referral program, which I'll put the link at the bottom for you, because the way it works is that if you sign up using the link that I give you, you actually get to try LastPass for 1 month free. So I'll put that link in the description below. Why you want to use LastPass is because if you're like me and you tend to have a lot of passwords and you don't want to be using the exact same password on an ongoing basis because it doesn't make it as secure. It's no longer a password if you use it for everything that you use. You're going to want to use what's called a password manager. And LastPass is, to me, probably one of the best password managers. For the simple reason is, although I like Google, I like Chrome, I don't really trust Google Chrome saving all my passwords, right? So I want to use a separate third party that's really geared around security and online safety to keep all my passwords in one place. And then also it allows me to be able to pull them up at any particular time. So what I'm going to do here to show you guys a quick example of it is if I go over to common site I go into, GoDaddy, not just for me, but for a lot of my clients. A lot of people that I manage their websites for, they have GoDaddy credentials, and rather than sending me my own login for it, they just gave me, the ability for them to log in on their GoDaddy account, right? So not what I normally recommend, but it is the reality of what it is for many people. So as you can see here, if I hover over to my LastPass, I've got 39 different people that have given me their LastPass credentials, and it's impossible for me to remember all of these. So what I have is in here, I can go to LastPass and pull up only the passwords for my GoDaddy site, and I'm going to have all of the passwords that I can log into any one of the accounts directly right here. Okay, and they'll all be labeled with the client information so I can know whose password exactly I'm logging into. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Extensity. Now, the reason why Extensity is important is because if you're going to be like me, you're going to have a whole bunch of these Chrome extensions activated. And sometimes the reality of it, depending on your internet connection, they can sometimes slow down your performance. So even if it's intended to speed up your performance, if you have too many of them running at any particular time, it might slow down your performance. So what I love about using it with Extensity is I can simply click on Extensity at any time, like this, and it'll open up all of the Chrome extensions that I have running, and I can go in and turn off any one of the Chrome extensions that I'm not using at a particular time. All right, so that's a great way for you to minimize the number of extensions running. If you find that, you know what, I did explain to you them, that I'm going to show you how to use them for general performance, for design, for SEO, for marketing. That way, if you, depending on what task you're doing, you can have different profiles set up with certain extensions running at any particular time. All right, this one here, momentum. The reason why I included it, it is the number one thing that people ask me when they see my tabs open up. They always go, "Oh my god, cool! How do you do that?" Right? So what it is momentum. It's a Chrome extension. Again, I'll have the link in the comments below. And what you do is when you have it activated, whenever you open a new tab, instead of having the generic Google search where you have, weird things that you were looking at before, or whatever Google decides to pop on that page, it gives you this nice layout with always beautiful background images, the time, a nice welcome message, and then sometimes you'll even put your focus on. So I can put up, this is really cool for me, because I find the little quotes that they put at the bottom here are often great. It says, look at today, it says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. All right, this is Maya Angelou. Awesome little quote. Sometimes that's all you need to just, give you a little bit of inspiration in the morning. And I find this to be really a cool tool to use, especially if you're like me, you create videos and you opening a tab, you want to kind of know what's going to be popping up every single time is going to be something that you want your viewers to see. All right, so definitely recommend Momentum for that reason. It has the ability also to add a to-do list, so you can write out a list of things that you got to get done for the day. You can just have them typed in here, and then you can check it off as it's done, and it'll kind of save it here for you. You can also put common links that you use on a regular basis. You can save them over here. I will talk about some of these on a future video. And then you can also just use a basic Google search in here to get you kicked off. This is more like a cool thing to do in terms of your browser. I'm putting it here because a lot of people always ask me about it, and I thought it would be relevant to kind of explain how to get it set up. And I think you'd like it. The next one is Advanced Notepad. Advanced Notepad is great for if you have things that you like, codes or things that you need on the fly on the web on a regular basis. So for example, I wouldn't put passwords in there. That's what LastPass is for, it's more secure. This is more things like quick notes, like canned responses, or if you are responding to a number of people with the same reply on an ongoing basis, you just put on Advanced Notepad on your device, and it's going to allow you to be able to pull on any browser a quick note. Okay, so this one is actually blank right now, but I can go ahead and pop in a quick note that I want to type in, and then it has the ability to just simply copy that note from wherever you are on the web and then pop it in on the page for you. A lot cooler than actually it's a lot faster actually, I should say, than going into your notepad on your computer, trying to open up a memo pad and all that kind of stuff. This just really helps with your overall speed and productivity if you're going to find yourself going through multiple notes where you have to copy and paste stuff over on a regular basis. So even if you're just copying a bunch of content from one page to another, I find Advanced Notepad is very helpful for that. The other one is Grammarly. All right, this is a must-have if you're doing any kind of content writing online or social media marketing or anything like that. Grammarly, grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes are a big faux pas. I highly recommend installing this free Chrome extension. It is a freemium, so there are ways to upgrade it to get more features. But for the most part, the paid version of it will be good enough for most people. So Grammarly, again, it's just an extension. It runs in the background when you're when you're working online. And if you type something that has a grammatical error or a spelling mistake, it'll simply highlight it for you and it'll point it out to say, hey, this thing needs to be fixed. It's kind of like the Word version where you would underline the spelling mistakes or the grammars, but it's more extensive than that, and also it works across the web on different platforms, like if you're doing a website on WordPress or so forth. The next one here is speech notes. I pop this one in here. I find it kind of cool. There is a way you can get it for I think for $10 for life. So I will show you this one, and the simple reason for that is that if you're somebody who you're not great at typing, you may be more of a talker like me. All right. So you want to type a message, a long email out to somebody, rather than using the screen recorder, which is my new best friend. You can also just simply go ahead and hit this voice note tool, and it'll type out whatever you text. The reason why I don't have it installed, I'm not using it right now, is because you can also do that now with Google Docs, which I'll show you guys how to do that in a future training. But you can also do that in Google Docs, which I find it to be a little bit more accurate than speech notes for me right now. The next one is this one right here. So Docsify. Docsify is cool. Some people call it a little bit creepy. But the mere fact that predominantly what I do is in sales. I have a consulting agency. A lot of what I do is interacting with customers and stuff that needs to be timely, and I want to make sure that I'm not being a pain in the butt, I'm being helpful to customers. I love using Docsify because what Docsify does, it allows you to send an email to somebody, and as you can see here in the video, it'll actually show you if that person has read the message, right? And it shows you how many times they've read it and so forth. So for me, that's important because if I send an email out to somebody that's timely, I want to know if I'm waiting for an answer, have they even seen the message? Because if they've seen it, they haven't responded, I can respond differently than if they haven't seen it at all, because my message might have gone to their spam or some other thing like that, right? So one thing I definitely recommend is using Docsify. If you're in sales, it's a secret weapon. It's absolutely ninja in terms of helping you improve your overall customer relation with people, because you can respond once you know that they've actually read and opened your email, right? And as you can see here, you can see all the messages that people actually opened up, which ones that haven't. So if I notice that I sent a message off, they haven't even opened it as yet, then I can respond back to them slightly differently, saying, hey, you know what, I can maybe calling them because maybe the email's just not working. This one here, you're gonna love. If you're at home and you're doing webinars from home, you're doing Zoom calls, you're trying to work from home, but you've got kids, you've got a dog, you've got things happening in the background, Crisp is gonna be your best friend. What Crisp does is it's an AI technology, it's artificial intelligence technology that allows you to mute out background noise. Now, this is absolutely game changer if you're like me. When we aren't in lockdown, I'm working from coffee shops, I'm working from malls, I'm working from libraries, I'm working from home, I've got the kids. There's times where you can't stop the background noise, right? And it can be kind of distracting for the person on the other end. Well, with Chris, you can literally turn it on and it'll cut out any background distractions. I'm going to actually record a separate video showing you guys an example of how this audio sounds with Crisp versus without Crisp when recording, because it literally eliminates all the background noise. I've had times where I'll be recording and it literally sounds like I'm outside of a market, right, with the amount of background noise going on. And then the minute you turn on Crisp, it seems to pretty much disappear overnight. I would highly recommend trying it out. And one of the coolest things you can do is you can literally have Crisp off, start clapping, and then listen to the recording, and then turn Crisp on and do the exact same thing again, and you literally hear no sound coming from the clapping when you have Crisp turned on. Okay, now this also is a freemium product, so you get it free for 120 minutes, I think, a week, which to me is more than enough for many people. And if you want to upgrade it, there is an upgrade. You can upgrade it so you can have it on unlimited. I have it on unlimited right now because I use it that much, but I think for most people, 120 minutes would be more than enough. So that's Crisp. The next one is Google Voice. So this is really cool for my US visitors here, because Google Voice is available in the US, I think only right now, unless you have another paid US Google Voice service. But what is kind of cool with that is that you can actually manage your Google Voice conversations right in a tab, right? So if I need to make a phone call, or I need to check a text message or send a text message out to somebody, I can manage it right up here inside of my Google tag, inside of my Google Chrome extension, so I can make phone calls directly from my phone without having to go back into my Gmail and do that. Next one here is Honey. Honey is self-explanatory. This has saved me hundreds, if not over $1,000 over the past, I say 3-4 years of using it. The way Honey works is that it just sits in your browser here, asleep, like you can see in this one right here, it's asleep. And when you go to a site that has coupons on the web, so that means Honey finds discounts for it. So what I did, I went to Namecheap, because this is where I use it most of the time. I go to Namecheap and I'm going to buy a domain. So I just typed in here awesomedomain.com and I want to buy this domain. What Honey is going to do once it's activated, once I click on this and I go to checkout, it's going to go through the web and find everywhere there's a discount for this, for Namecheap, and it's going to try to apply those discounts to my checkout cart until it finds one that works for me. right? So it's going to keep going through and it's going to let you know. So as you can see right here, it found 5 codes online that I may be able to use to get a discount for the site. I would have known that otherwise, right? And this does it right here for you. It tells you exactly what you could save. You could save up to 98% on selected domains, right? And it'll tell you exactly how you do that, and that's using Honey. This one here, the Great Suspender. If you're like me and you find yourself very often, getting online, leaving a bunch of tabs open because you're working on something else and you completely just forgot about it, and you notice your browser starts to get slower and slower, because believe it or not, all these tabs eventually start to slow down your computer, your browsing performance. What the Great Suspender does, it pretty much puts those tabs to sleep, right? So it stops it from running in the background, and it'll just freeze it, so you get all these resources back for your productivity can speed up. And then once you get back to the page that you need to turn it back on, you simply just go back onto that page, and then you're going to see it in sleep mode here. That means it's not using any resources. You just click on refresh or click to reload the page, and it'll reactivate the page for you where you left off. Very, very useful tool, especially if you're like me and you have a whole bunch of tabs open like this all the time. Now, the last one I think you guys are going to absolutely love, which is One Tab. I absolutely love One Tab because if you're like me, you often have a lot of tabs open like this, and not just in one window, in multiple windows, right? And maybe you might need to reboot your computer, or your computer's running too slow that you need to shut all these down, but you don't want to close them, right? Because you're probably going to need them again. You're going to need to open up these tabs. Well, check out what One Tab does. I'm going to come right over here, and I'm going to click on One Tab, which is this one right here. And when I do that, it's going to compress all of my tabs down into one, right? That's why it's called One Tab. But look at that. If I want to open all of these tabs back up, I can simply go back in and start to click on these, and it'll start to open back up the tabs for me the same way where I left off, right? So I can get all my tabs open back at any particular time. And this is great for if you're working on a project for a customer or for a particular thing. You can have all the tabs opened up and then compile them here into one, and then you can simply have all of them as a project to work on, so you can go through again. And then you can do things like restore all, or you can share just the 9 tabs that are open here with somebody else. It's really, really helpful for managing your overall performance when you're working online. All right. I hope you guys found these to be helpful. These are some of my favorite general productivity hacks that I have. I'm going to share a series of maybe 4 or 5 more videos like this, where I'm going to talk to you guys about how I use different Chrome extensions for when I'm doing design work, so graphic design or web design stuff. I have different Chrome extensions I use when I'm doing marketing, for creating UTMs and tracking codes and so forth. I have other Chrome extensions I use when I'm doing SEO, when I'm doing competitive research, or I'm trying to make sure the website is properly optimized. I have certain Chrome extensions I use at that point. And I'll be sharing those with you guys over the next couple of videos. So if you haven't already done that, don't forget to subscribe below to my channel so you get notified when I drop these. Have a great day. Take care.